October 10, 2025, the people of Poza, Rica, Mexico woke to a nightmare. Overnight, relentless rain had turned the city into a vast brown sea. Streets vanished. Cars and buses floated like toys swept away by a raging current no one could stop. By dawn, nearly 4 feet of water covered entire neighborhoods as the Cazones River burst its banks, flooding homes, markets, and schools. Power grids failed. Communications collapsed. Families climbed to rooftops, waving flashlights for rescue in the dark. This wasn't just a flood. It was a total collapse of normal life. In less than 6 hours, one of Mexico's most industrial cities had fallen silent beneath the water. As the world watched from afar, the disaster in Poza Rica became another haunting reminder. When the planet warms, no coastline and no community is truly safe.
Ya aquí justamente en la avenida Eloy Cavazos, vean aquí.
At 600 a.m., the silence of dawn was shattered. The Cazones River, swollen from 3 straight days of torrential rain, burst through its banks with unstoppable force. Within minutes, entire neighborhoods were underwater. Residents watched in disbelief as cars, trees, and furniture were swept down what used to be city streets. By the time emergency sirens sounded, Poza Rica was drowning. Water surged over 12 feet deep in low-lying areas, smashing through storefronts and carrying away everything in its path. Lines collapsed, plunging thousands into darkness. Cell service failed. Families trapped inside their homes climbed to rooftops waving for help. Videos posted online showed roaring brown water swallowing gas stations, buses, and market stalls. The city's main bus terminal was completely submerged, halting all travel. Merchants lost entire inventories as shops flooded in minutes. Even the region's vital oil facilities, the economic backbone of northern Veracruz, were shut down. By mid-morning, the government had declared a state of emergency. Soldiers were deployed, roads were closed, and rescue boats began moving through the streets. But the scale of destruction was already beyond anything Mexico had seen in years, a modern industrial city brought to its knees by water. By mid-morning, chaos had consumed Poza Rica. The city's familiar grid of streets vanished beneath a moving ocean of brown water. Emergency calls overwhelmed operators while rescue teams struggled to navigate the powerful currents. Footage taken from rooftops showed families clinging to debris, waving flashlights and white towels for help. In some neighborhoods, the water rose an inch every 5 minutes, flooding entire homes before anyone could escape. Boats from the Mexican Army and Navy cut through submerged avenues, rescuing children, the elderly, and even pets stranded for hours. At one point, soldiers used the refrigerator as a makeshift raft to reach trapped residents. Schools and churches became shelters housing hundreds who had lost everything. Inside, volunteers handed out bottled water blankets and canned food as rain continued to pour outside. The sound of helicopters overhead mixed with the cries of those searching for missing loved ones. By evening, over 1,000 people had been evacuated, yet thousands more remained stranded. Entire neighborhoods once filled with noise and life now stood silent under 6 feet of water. For the people of Poza Rica, survival was no longer about hope. It was about endurance.
Así se vive.
Aquí estamos en el arroyo de Santiago, en la 1:45 de...
¡Ya, se lo llevó!
Meteorologists later confirmed what residents had already witnessed. This was no ordinary storm. A powerful low-pressure channel from the Gulf of Mexico had collided with a monsoon trough drifting in from the Pacific. When these two weather systems met over northern Veracruz, they created a massive conveyor belt of moisture pulling warm, humid air inland. Over 3 relentless days, that air condensed into towering thunderclouds that refused to move. Between Thursday night and Friday morning, Poza Rica recorded more than 8 inches of rain, twice the city's monthly average. The nearby Cazones River, fed by runoff from the mountainous highlands of Puebla, could no longer hold the surge. By 6 a.m., the pressure was too great. The river burst through levees and flood barriers, releasing millions of gallons of water into the city below. Experts called it a perfect storm scenario, the kind that once occurred once a decade, but now appears almost every year. Scientists point to rising sea surface temperatures in the Gulf, roughly 3 degrees above normal, as the accelerant. Warmer oceans, they warned, act like jet fuel for tropical rainfall. And in a warming world, storms like this will only grow stronger.
Así está Riberas del Bosque, todo es bien azul.
As the scale of the disaster became clear, Mexico's military and emergency services went into full battle mode. By midday, the Mexican army activated Plan DN3E, the nation's highest-level disaster response. At the same time, the Navy launched Plan Marina, deploying amphibious units and rescue boats into the flooded city. More than 1,200 soldiers, firefighters, and paramedics were dispatched to Poza, Rica, and surrounding towns. Helicopters circled overhead, airlifting families from rooftops and dropping food and clean water to stranded neighborhoods. Convoys of trucks delivered medical supplies while engineers worked to clear debris and restore communication lines. Inside schools and churches, makeshift shelters overflowed with displaced residents. Volunteers, soldiers, and Red Cross workers handed out blankets, canned food, and medicine. Some rescue teams used inflatable rafts, kayaks, even plastic barrels tied together to navigate the submerged streets. President Claudia Sheinbaum addressed the nation, confirming that 4 states were impacted by the same storm system and pledging federal aid.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay informed about the latest developments.
Ooh.